Hi guys! Today I'm going to be demoing the Etruscan romance. I'm going to populate a photo of that up here really quickly. And then we will just get straight into it. You can find this kit on vintageliveshopid.com. And if you're looking for this tutorial, it'll just be in the link at the bottom of the description. Alrighty, so here we have the finished piece, and you'll notice that we actually have 3 finished components already in the kit. So we have our pendant, our leather, and our earrings. So that is very, very helpful. So I'm just going to go ahead and start deassembling this pendant. So there's just going to be this little notch right there. You can take your pliers. You're just going to bend that way. So you can slip this guy right off. And then, can you grab me some jump rings? It looks like we could actually even just steal the jump rings off of this. So everything that you need will be in this kit to create this beautiful jewelry piece. I'm just gonna go until you find the seam, which looks like it's coming right up here. Which size do you need? Just a JR20 is perfect. Can do 2 of those. How many of those you'll need? Okay, I believe 4, yes. Alright, so here we have our jump ring that we've taken. And this portion is going to be very, very simple. We're just going to link our jump ring through the hole at the top of the finished pendant. I'm going to take this beautiful filigree piece and link it right over there, right over top like that. And then I like to use 2 pliers for this portion. You're just going to secure it nice and tight. And then you will be left with this. There we go. And it looks like I may have put it on backwards, which happens a lot. And that's okay, especially if you're a beginner like me. Sometimes it takes laying things out a little bit before you know which way to go. So all I'm going to do is grab this, flip it the other direction, lay it back down, and tighten. Just like that. And then we're going to grab this piece that we took off here, and we're going to take off this lobster clasp. You'll get a free little lobster clasp if you'd like to use that for any other jewelry designs that you're doing. And you're going to grab one end of this link here, put it right through there. I'm going to grab this side at the top here and pinch that with my pliers and then tighten. Very, very easy like that. Alright, now we're going to connect this top portion to our other jump ring. So we're just going to go whoop. Super, super easy. I'm going to hold it right here, pinch it with my pliers. Grab it right there. Maybe. And we're just going to tighten up that side. Just like that. So now we have this beautiful pendant. Super, super easy. And then to attach it to the finished leather portion of the necklace, we're just going to again open up this jump ring, put it right through. Luckily this jump ring is big enough that we can just go like that and tighten. Beautiful. Alright, and that is a finished necklace. Super quick, super easy, and super beautiful. Very, very elegant. Alrighty, now we're going to go on to the earrings. This is going to be the more difficult portion of the kit. It's actually not difficult. If I can do it, I promise you can do it. Alrighty, so we've already deassembled this one here, just like that. So we're going to go ahead and do the same here. Just going to go ahead and bring that jump ring like so. And we can set this JR20 jump ring off to the side here because we will be using that already. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, we can just go ahead and keep that on there. I'm going to keep it over, but keep it open. So just like that. Lay those off to the side here. Now we're going to be creating our eye pen right here using a head pen, just like this. So what you're going to want to do, let's see if I can bring that up here. Put your bead through, just like that. And then you're going to want to, I like to do kind of right in the middle. You're going to just hold the bead like that and bend it to one side. Just like that, so it's nice and tight. And then I'm going to go ahead and clip off this portion here, the little head of our pin. I'm even going to clip off a tiny bit more than that, just so that I can have the right length, so it's about that size. I don't know how many millimeters that is, or probably like 1 or 2. And then you're going to pinch it. You can see what I'm doing here, right at the end. And then you're going to use these pliers as kind of like a little base, and you're going to bring your bead up this way, just like that. Hopefully my knuckles didn't cover it, so you can kind of see where I'm at here. You can even bring it forward more than that if you'd like. And then I like to flip mine over just so I can see the finish here. And there you go. Perfect little head pen. I'm going to use my pliers here just to tighten it a little tiny bit, just like that. Alright, so now we've done that on one side. We're going to repeat the process on the same side. And it's okay if when you're bending it, it doesn't turn out the same way, because we can easily fix that. So what I mean by that is if you were to grab the bead here and you bent this forward rather than to the side here, after you created your loop, this side of the loop would be faced this way and the bottom side would be faced this way. That doesn't matter because it's a super easy fix. So again, I'm going to hold the bead. You kind of see what I'm doing here. Hopefully my fingers aren't hiding it. And we're just going to lay that down. I'm going to actually use my other hand so I can use my dominant hand here to push that down. And I like it to be really tight. It's okay if it takes a few times to get it to be tight and close to the bead. Just like that. There's a little bit of space right there, and that's totally okay. So same way we did that before, we're just going to clip. I like to use these little clippers right here that are on our tools. It's about the same size that it was before. Again, you're going to grab it, and I like to do just a little bit down the barrel, because if you do too close, the loop is going to be a little bit tinier. So you're going to hold it like that, as far to the end as you can without it slipping like that. And then you're going to roll the bead. See how I'm going like that? Roll the bead over. And then I like to see where I'm at here, take a break, and then go back to that same spot and finish off the loop. Just like that. Okay, and here you can kind of see that this is a little bit towards this direction, and this side is perfectly flat the way we want it. So we're going to grab 2 of our trusty pliers here. We're going to hold this one tight, and then on this side, we're just going to turn. Just like that. Very, very simple, very easy. And then I'm just going to tighten it there. So here we have our bead that'll go right above that there. And then I'm just going to repeat the process here. Stick it in the middle. Of course, you could always go like this, keep it down here, do the same thing on that side. I prefer just to do it in the middle. I think it makes it a little bit easier to tell how far apart everything is. So again, I'm just bending that down, just like that, so it's nice and tight. Over the bead. I'm going to take off the head of the head pin and a little bit further down, just like that. And you can kind of just eyeball it. I may have even taken a little bit too much off there, but it's okay. Then we're going to go ahead a little bit further down the barrel here. Just like that. And grab. And sometimes, especially as a beginner, I do this often, it'll look a little bit more crooked, and that's okay. All you gotta do is straighten it out there, and then tighten it here. And I'll tighten that other side after I'm done with this one. Okay, and then same deal. If you have long fingernails, you can use your fingernails as a way to bend this well. If not, you can just use your flat of your finger like I do. Alrighty, perfect. Again, doesn't have to be totally perfect at this portion because we can just adjust it. Grab from right here, as close to the edge as you can, and bring the bead around. Finish that up. Just make sure that these, see how it's not quite lined. Grab this and twist. Okay, perfect. Alrighty, now you can go ahead and loop one of the sides that we just did right over this open jump ring that we've left. Now we're just going to tie that tight. Kind of wiggle it back and forth until it's lined up perfect. Like that. The same on this side. Tight. Pinch on this end. And do the same thing. Okay, now we're going to open up the side that we just finished just a tiny, tiny bit so we don't ruin that loop. Just enough for us to loop this guy right through at the base like that. Use this here. You can actually even use your fingers because it's so tiny to close the gap like that. A little tiny one, open like that. Now we're just going to tighten that back up. Alrighty. Coming up on the last step here. Here we have some hematite jump rings. Yours will be the same color as the ones we used below. This will be just their natural brass JR20s. I'm going to loop that through the top there. Then you're just going to loop it through your ear wire. Just like that. Grab both ends and tighten. You got it. Okay, here are your finished pieces. And you'll be left with two to go on the back there of your earring and an extra lobster clasp. Thank you guys for joining me today for this one. For this Etruscan romance jewelry kit.